Greetings gastronauts, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today I'm going to take you back to your childhood. I'm going to do that staple of school dinner desserts, Treacle Tart. So I had a request to do this from Cleopad5 and also a request for a shout out from Scott Rutter. And just because I feel like it, shout outs to Dwayne Ladiker, Beeble2003 and Stealthop. And also to somebody who I know has been watching this channel for a couple of years now and I don't think has ever asked for a shout out or got one, Mr. Krasker. Hello. Anyway, Treacle Tart, pretty yummy, pretty filling, pretty stodgy and pretty easy. Let's do it. Now the first thing you want to do is make your pastry, and the ingredients for that are here. This is 200 grams of plain all-purpose flour, 100 grams of unsalted butter cut into little cubes, and 3 or 4 tablespoons of water, just enough to bring it together. So, you know, this is your standard short crust pastry, and the standard procedure for that is to just rub the butter into the flour using the tips of your fingers and try and keep everything nice and cold. So when you've done that, it should look like breadcrumbs. So there we are, nice crummy mix. And what you need to do now is just add some water. I'll just do 3 tablespoons to start with. Give it a stir. 1 more. Another of those fabulous recipes from the interwebs that doesn't work. A couple more. And another one. That's like 7. Honestly, don't these people test their recipes? Clearly not. Alright, that might do it. With a bit of squidging. Okay, that'll do. So just wrap that in plastic film and stick it in the fridge to rest for about half an hour. Right, the pastry's well rested, so I'm going to make the pastry case. I'm going to use this tatty old thing, which I desperately need to replace. And we're going to blind bake the case because you will get a soggy bottom otherwise, and we don't like those. Not on treacle tarts. You want to get your oven preheating to 140 degrees Celsius if it's a fan oven, or 160 if it isn't. And plenty of flour on the worktop, and roll out the dough. Okay, should be enough. Yep. Let's just chuck some flour in this. I know it's non-stick, but as I always say, I don't trust it. So just slap your pastry in there gently and press it down into the corners. You can leave these bits overhanging and we'll trim them off when it's blind baked. Now just stab the bottom all over with a fork. This stops it from puffing up. And then you need to fill it with something to hold it in place. I know I said that would stop it puffing up. This baking rice or baking beans or whatever you use will also do the job. So sheet of greaseproof paper, scrunch it up and then pop it into the case, and scrunching it makes it easier for it to fit. And put your weight thing in. Okay, and that can go in the oven for 15 minutes. Okay, ingredients for the filling. I've got 140 grams of white breadcrumbs. I've got 400 grams of golden syrup, 35 grams of black treacle, a whole egg and 1 egg yolk. I tried to get a double yolk egg but I couldn't find one. 60 grams of butter, 2 tablespoons of double cream, a tablespoon of lemon juice and a pinch of salt. Right, while the pastry case is blind baking, I'm going to make the filling. I've got my butter, I'm going to melt that in a small saucepan. And then we'll stir in the golden syrup and the treacle. Now, golden syrup, I said 400 grams, that's 454, that's a pound. And that's not quite full, so that'll be enough. That butter is too hot. And I think if you can't get golden syrup, you can use light corn syrup. Similarly, black treacle, you can use molasses. And said 35 grams, that'll be about 2 tablespoons. Butter's more or less melted. I'll put all this golden syrup in. And we don't want this to boil, we just want it to warm through, basically. Yeah. Have they invented squeezy bottles yet, like they have for honey? No. Maybe they have, but not at my local supermarket. And the black treacle. Yeah. Disgusting stuff. Okay, now let's add the cream, 2 tablespoons. Seems a bit mean. Let's add 3. Just stir that in just to get that warm. And if you want to give your eggs a bit of a beat, just to break them up, break up the egg yolks. Take the treacle mix off the heat. We'll add the lemon juice. Pinch of salt. You might think that's a bit odd, but if you've ever had salted caramel, you'll understand. And your eggs. Just let that stand till we're ready to use it. Okay, the case has had its 15-minute first little bake. So remove your baking whatever. And hope that doesn't go all over the floor. Trim off your excess pastry. And paint it with egg wash. This is beaten egg with a bit of milk added. And again, this is all aimed at preventing a soggy bottom. Do the insides and the rim as well. And then pop that back in the oven for another 5 minutes. Okay, that's had another 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do is just glaze the top edge again, and then sprinkle your breadcrumbs into the case. Get a nice flat layer, and then pour over the treacly goo. And as I'm doing this, I realise that even though I adore treacle tart, I've never made one before. Isn't that strange? I was just saying to Mrs. KeefCooks that I was making this, and she's like, oh, it's my favourite. But, you know, we've been married 31 years and I've never seen her at it. And it's like, oh, you know, school. Anyway, that now goes in the oven for 20 minutes, and then we turn the temperature down to 120 degrees Celsius if it's a fan oven, 140 if it isn't, and give it another 15 to 20 minutes. It should be a bit jiggly when it comes out. Okay, here's our lovely treacle tart. I suppose it's got a little wibble or wobble. We'll see in a minute. Well, about 5 minutes. You've got to leave it to cool before you rip it open. And while you're doing that, if we're doing the school dinners theme, make up some horrible instant custard. Yeah. Right, here it is. Look, there's 2 portions. Guess who the other one's for? Mrs. KeefCooks!
I love treacle tart.
So you said.
Yeah. Oh, you've got cinnamon in the custard.
This is horrible instant custard.
Oh.
I mean, it's really...
You speckled something in it.
It's really weird. Yeah, that was... what's that brown stuff? Vanilla.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, you can come again.
Will that do?
Yeah, not bad at all.
That'll do, you have to say that'll. That'll do, love. Oh, God. I had forgotten how much,
Have to go now.
how lovely treacle tart is. Bye-bye.
Bye, darling.
Nom nom nom. I've just come across a bit where the treacle mixture didn't penetrate through the breadcrumbs, and that is not nice. So I think if I did it again, I would mix the treacle mix and the breadcrumbs first before putting them into the pastry case. Ho hum. Anyway, where that hasn't happened, it's fabulous. And that's that. I hope you enjoyed it. Now please do the usual, likes, shares, subscriptions, donations, patronage, etc. Thank you. And thanks for watching. See you next time.